How can we start laughing straight away?
We've not slept.
Geez, I need a shave, you know. Anyway, obviously, it's nearly been born now, 3 weeks. We couldn't really make a video then discussing what we thought about the home birth, but we thought we'd leave it a few weeks and then actually do a video to discuss. I think I'm tired as well, you know. to discuss. I know, especially you. We're discussing something.
No.
To discuss the home birth and what happened and the process, how we feel about it, just in general about the home birth. Really, would you like to start then? How you? Well, firstly, you went into labour at 4 o'clock in the morning, didn't you?
Yes, was in labour overall for about, was it 16 hours?
We have worked this out. Yeah.
It was about 16 hours.
It was 16 hours, yeah.
I rang the triage at 4 in the morning and was pretty much told to just carry on as I was. So I put the TENS machine on at about 6 o'clock when I woke you up.
Yeah.
And I was birthing at home just with the TENS machine. And Chris helping with like pressure points on my back.
Yeah.
So about 6 o'clock that evening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was when the midwives came.
6 p.m.
Yeah. I wasn't even going to get the midwives out. It was just because they thought potentially my waters were leaking, so they said, well, let's come out and check you. So they came out and checked me at 6 o'clock, and I was coping all right.
All right, you smashing it.
I thought I was going to be about 4 or 5 centimetres because I was managing all right with the TENS machine. But they examined me and I was 9 centimetres at that point then. So that was pretty much getting in the pool then from that point on, and getting ready to push really. And it was only really then when it got quite intense, but still I was managing fine. I had a comb, which I'd showed in the other video, which I was squeezing while I was in the actual pool towards the end. But I didn't get gas in her until, well, they didn't know if it was good. It happened so quick at the end, they didn't know if I would get gas in her in time, did they? I managed to get it. I don't, it's a blur for me, I don't know what time it arrived.
Gas in her? Roughly about 7:45.
Yeah, I think it was about 15 minutes before.
Yeah, she was born at 8:01 p.m. So obviously 7:45, they come with a gas and air. I mean, basically all the way through it, you've just handled it.
Yeah, I didn't even really feel like the gas and air did anything towards the end. I'd focused on breathing.
Yeah.
And the other techniques that I'd used all day. But the gas and air just didn't. I felt like it distracted me more than anything because you're trying to focus on using it properly. Then I kept dropping it in the water. So I don't feel like I really needed it towards the end, to be honest. But I think sometimes it's just a mental thing where you know you've had it. It sort of helps you through it a little bit.
So it was more mentally for you?
Yeah. It helped afterwards because my placenta was taking a while to come out and I was in quite a bit of pain with that. So I had to have some assistance. That was the only assistance I had really, was my helping the placenta come out. And that was a bit that I had a bit of difficulty with, and that was probably the worst part, to be honest, the after part. And the gas and air came in handy for that then, because that's when I was going lightheaded with the gas and air and stuff, so I was properly using it then. But before then, I think I could have done it without it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the most shocking bit, as you can see on the video, is when I'm upstairs, I'm doing it quiet because the midwives, I think, were in the same room or just outside. And you can see on my face and my voice, you can hear how surprised I am when you're 9 centimetres.
I was surprised. The midwife was surprised.
She tested you again, didn't she? She was like, I can't believe.
To make sure that I was, because she didn't believe that I was 9 centimetres, and she checked me again and I was.
Yeah.
And then it was pretty much getting into the pool then.
Yeah.
We didn't know obviously how long I'd be in the pool. It could have still been a couple of hours from that point, but it wasn't, was it?
No. So it was like, I think you got in the pool at, was it 6:30? No, probably, no, it's later than that. It must have been about 7 o'clock.
I think I was in the pool about an hour.
Yeah, you was in the pool about 7 o'clock, born at 8:01. You must have been in the pool probably 5-10 minutes, maybe. And then the midwife said, do you want me to stay here with you, or do you want me to go and make a brew? So you said, you may as well make a brew, hadn't you, and go downstairs. Within probably, they come downstairs, tidied up a little bit, put the kettle, just as they put the kettle on, so it must have only been 2 minutes later, I come rushing down the stairs after you said to me, oh, I feel like I need to push. So I thought, right, okay, I need to go straight downstairs, tell the midwife. As I was legging it downstairs, she was waiting for me.
Yeah.
She was waiting for me, and as soon as I opened my mouth, she was like, she started smiling. She said, I knew you was going to say that. I knew you was going to say that she feels like she's going to push. So, God, at times I'll have a mix up in that day, but it must have been about 7:15.
Yeah, I'd had pressure for a couple of hours, but I don't know if I ignored it a bit because I didn't think I was that far ahead. So I thought, am I just feeling pressure as in it's in my head, but I must have been having that pressure for a good couple of hours before.
Yeah.
And it made sense when she said that was 9 centimetres. I thought I was getting that feeling then.
Well, I said to you, didn't I? If you're 5 centimetres, don't get too downhearted. It's all right. We'll carry on. We'll keep doing what we're doing. It's working. You're breezing through it. Almost don't get too upset if you're not in the high 7, 8, 9. So when she said you're 9 centimetres, it was like, oh. One, I don't think she could quite believe it because of how well Leah was dealing with the pain. I don't think she could quite believe it, that she was just breezing through it. Almost like, how are you 9 centimetres and doing so well?
Yeah.
To be honest, I think you breezed all the way through it. I mean, you had a little bit of doubts at the end, let's be honest, but it was only because of your last pregnancy when you was pushing.
The pushing scares me because I tore really bad with Harry, and I managed to get away this time with just a graze. Mm-hmm. So it was a completely different experience, but I did get panicked a little bit towards that, and that was when I started saying I can't do it much longer. But everyone has said that when you start saying that, you've probably not got much longer to go.
No.
You're probably at that point where you're pretty much there, the baby's coming.
And of course, we want to be honest. We want to make sure that, we're not just saying it was easy and everything was this and that. We want to be honest.
The end,
yeah, you did a little bit, 10, 15 minutes, a little bit of panic. But what woman...
But I also felt like I needed to do that. It wasn't because I was sort of roaring towards the end, just for pushing. But that's what I felt like I needed to do. It was almost like I was encouraging myself to keep pushing then.
You announced to the neighbours that you're giving birth.
Yeah. I do wonder what they thought that night. It was only for like 10-15 minutes where they would have heard me, but...
Probably there's a dinosaur in the next room. But in all seriousness, she did panic a little bit. Nothing to the extreme, but it was mainly just self-doubt. I think from your past experience of pushing with Harry and you tore, probably a little bit of fear crept in.
Yeah.
But the midwives are fantastic. They didn't overwhelm you, just kept the distance, basically let me talk to her. All I was saying was basically, remember what you've been telling me, remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to be left alone, and she wanted to deal with it in her way, which was basically on your own, really.
Yeah.
Me holding your hand, but you did it all majority of your own.
My first labour, I was overwhelmed with a lot of people in the room, the bright lights, all that. I didn't want that again. And the midwife even said, I know you really want to be left to it, so you tell us what you want. They were great, really.
They were brilliant, yeah.
But yeah, I pretty much wanted to do it myself.
Which you did. Absolutely everything on your own. I was just bystander holding your hand, reminding you of how powerful you are and how strong you are and how you've already done it. Because the funny thing is, to me, she never complained all the way through it, but as soon as the end was come and she'd already basically so close to giving birth, I can't do it much longer, I can't do it. And all I was saying was, babe, you've done it. You've done it. This is the last chapter of the whole process. You was feeling the head.
Yeah.
You've done it. You've smashed it. And it was just a case of reminding you that you have actually done it. There's no need to worry.
I think I felt ahead of them. That set me off worrying then. I went into a panic because I knew what the next bit was and I knew what the next bit feels like.
Yeah.
And I think that set me off into a bit of a panic then.
Well, I think because you was in the pool, I don't think the midwives could quite see what was going on down there, could they?
I had to do it myself. I had to feel for her.
So basically, they said, "Can you feel the head?" You did straight away. But yeah, I mean, absolutely breezed through it. Really, in my opinion, I didn't really ever.
I was surprised at myself because when I had Harry, from the moment I got into hospital, it must have only been about 3 centimetres. I was screaming for epidural, and I felt like I just couldn't cope with it. It was too much for me. And I said after I had him that was me done. I wasn't going through that again. So to have this experience and handle it how I did, I was quite surprised.
So what
But
would
I
you
do feel like that was because I was at home.
Yeah, I was just going. That was my next question. What do you think was the case then from being 3 centimeters and struggling to being 9 centimeters and thinking, oh, okay, I'm quite okay here actually.
Being at home.
Being at home.
100%, yeah.
Anything in particular at home that?
I think you're in your own surroundings. You're doing it with you and your partner. You're not getting overwhelmed with 100 different people getting involved. And as well, because I wasn't being examined. I wasn't hooked up to machines. I was mobile. We went for 2 walks in the day.
Yeah, which really helped, by the way.
Which really sped up.
Yeah, the contractions and
In the morning, the first one, that like it helped for a bit, and then we went back to that every 7 minutes, and then we went for another one in the afternoon, and they were whatever 2-3 minutes when we got back.
Yeah, it really sped up at about 4:30 when we got back.
And that's not long before the midwife came.
Yeah. And there was one particular contraction that we speak about, remember?
Yeah,
you can't forget, really, can you?
No.
It was a 3-minute long contraction, weren't it? And it was quite quick in between. There wasn't much break.
Yeah.
And that was the one that we think that you must have gained another, centimetres wide. Yeah, because it was a big contraction, and it was the one that it sticks in my mind where you made a little bit of noise for the first time.
Yeah.
To say you're in pain.
Yeah, that was probably the worst one. But other than that, they weren't that bad.
No. So
I do feel like it was because I was home, and as well with Harry, I literally just sat on the bed the whole time, and I gave birth with my legs in the. I always forget what they're called.
Up.
Yeah, where you've got your legs up. I can't remember what they're
called.
And it was the most uncomfortable position. It was awful. This time I found I didn't really want to sit down. I was on my feet most of the day, wasn't I?
Yeah, you was constantly walking about. But when you was up, walking about, or even just stood up, it was bringing it on more.
Yeah. It
was faster contractions. It was everything was going quicker.
I dealt with the contractions better with the TENS machine, standing in a certain position and swaying.
Yeah.
Whereas
and then just me pressing on.
Like I say, I just lied on my back.
Yeah.
That didn't help at all.
No. I always think I'm not a woman, so I don't have a clue. But from my personal experience, you could look at a blank wall and be bored, and you're just waiting for, is it gonna, you know what I mean? You're waiting. But at home, you've got the TV to distract you. I went and got you a Mackey's. We went for a walk. We could talk about different things in between contractions. We was talking, weren't we? Having a laugh as much as we possibly could, as much as possibly you could. I just think that is a massive difference from being in hospital
100%.
Bored.
I didn't even eat in hospital last time.
Yeah.
And I sat there. I don't know how many centimetres I would have been at that point. I must have been at least like 5 or 6 centimetres. And I sat and had a full McDonald's on my ball and watched telly. Yeah. And I was fine. Yeah.
We knew at that point as well, okay, the contractions are coming on faster. You need to eat. You need to have your energy. You need to have the food in your system, the strength to push and everything. But yeah, like I was saying, I just think that is a massive difference being at home. You're just so much comforted. And once upstairs, you've got a pool that you can get into.
Yeah.
Candles were lit. She had a favourite film on, Wicked. I mean...
Yeah, she was born to Wicked.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice.
It just makes the whole experience easier though, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they were, even when I was pushing, they were pretty standoffish. They were there if I needed them. There was 3 of them.
Yeah. Just headbutted your chest. But yeah, the midwives were pretty standoffish, like you said. Yeah.
They'll do whatever. I mean, I think maybe we were really lucky with how nice the midwives were and how supportive. Because obviously, sometimes with the home birth, the hospitals aren't the most supportive of it, and you can struggle to get a good team. But they were great from the get-go.
Yeah, every single
really
one.
Supportive of it, and because I said I didn't want examinations unless obviously I needed them. I wanted to pretty much be left alone, and I explained why and what had happened previously. And she was like, "Yep, that's fine." There was no issue with it at any point. And she said it was like the home birth of dreams, didn't she? Because it was that straightforward.
It was. It was for us. It was for them. There was here. Get this right now. 2 hours. That's right, isn't it? No, a little bit longer.
Well,
2 hours, an hour and a half till you give birth.
Yeah, and they have to stay for 2 hours afterwards.
That's right. Yeah.
They pretty much stay out the way.
Yeah.
We were upstairs. with baby in the bed. So that's the thing, you get at the pool and then you just get straight into your own bed with baby in
Incredible.
your own surroundings. They'll make you a brew. They came downstairs and made us a brew.
Yeah. Which is
then,
out belting.
Yeah, and then just left us to it upstairs with baby straight away. And then just before they leave, they'll do the checks on baby and the checks on you, and then they go.
Yeah.
They come back the day after.
Check.
To do like it's like the hip tests and things like that on baby, and eye tests and things like that, and obviously check how I am. And then they leave you again then for, I think it's like 5 or 6 days.
5 days, I think it was.
And you pretty much just left to it. And the hearing test we go to in hospital, it's in like a couple of weeks, I think. So you pretty much left to your own devices until at a later date.
It was just brilliant. The fact that you give birth at home in your bedroom, one, it'll always be a memory to us.
Yeah.
We're in bed now and I still look at that corner going, wow, that baby, our baby, was born there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never ever forget that. It's just an unusual, unique.
Oh, she was born in a sack as well, we forgot to mention.
Yeah.
That, which was another like unusual thing, that she was actually born in a sack.
Yeah.
They were waiting for my waters to go for a while, and I just kept thinking they're not going to go because they didn't go with Harry. My waters never went with Harry, they had to break my waters. And I just had a feeling again that they weren't going to go, and then she was born in the sack. It was actually stuck to my leg when I was getting out of the pool. Yeah,
so if you go on Google and actually, I don't know the actual fact, I mean, how does Google know, but if you Google it, apparently it's 1 in 80,000 babies that are born in the sack.
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it?
Like that, yeah.
I think it was 1 in 80,000, what Google said anyway, which is, not many babies are born in the sack, which is, again, it was an amazing experience. But yeah, just to have that experience and then just get in bed.
Yeah, it's mad. You just sit there thinking what's just happened.
Yeah, I mean,
you're just looking at your baby and you're in your own bed having a brew.
I don't know how you felt. I can't compare it, but I was a bit dazed.
Yeah,
I felt like I'd been tattooed, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like I was just sat there in bed thinking, has that actually just happened? We're in bed.
Yeah, I think I was like that for a couple of days, to be honest.
Yeah, just the first night for me, but
because obviously I was a bit shocked at how easy I'd found it. Because as well, the other thing I found was, if you say a 16-hour labour, that sounds like a really long time, but it didn't feel like it at all.
No.
It felt like I was in labour for a couple of hours and that was it. Yeah. And again, I put that down to being at home in your own surroundings, going for a walk whenever I want, eating whatever I want.
It went so fast, didn't it?
Yeah, they weren't putting cannulas in my hand, giving me needles.
No.
The only needle I ended up having was the one for the placenta. I didn't need anything else because I only had a graze, I didn't need stitches. And again, I put that down to being at home and being so much calmer that I wasn't panicking when I was pushing, to the point that I was pushing at the wrong time, which is definitely what I did with Harry.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been surprised since we posted the video and stuff at how many people are saying, oh, you're really brave and can't believe you did that, and the shock of it, and I find that a little bit sad that that's such a big thing now. It's like a scary thing to have your baby at home. You just automatically have to go to hospital, you have to have a C-section on. And if you look into it, there's so many people that are scaremongered into having a sweep at 38 weeks or having a C-section early because they don't feel like they've got the knowledge to make a decision themselves and say, actually, I want to wait or I want to do it this way. And you're sort of bullied sometimes by certain people in the hospital to do what they want you to do rather than yourself.
Yeah.
And it's quite sad that it's such a scary thing to people to give birth at home when that's what everyone used to do.
Yeah,
if you look back
at it,
that was the normal.
Yeah, it used to be the norm.
It's not scary at all. I wasn't scared at any point. I wasn't worried at any point. And if there is anything that goes wrong, they're aware of you giving birth at home, and that ambulance will be there instantly, and you'll get to hospital. You've got that support there, and you've got the nurses there that know what they're doing. And it just didn't feel scary to me at any point. So when people say that, it just surprised me.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. As soon as you said, I want to have a home birth, there was no doubt in my mind, because for you to even have that thought just shows you that you're capable of doing it. So when you told me you was going to have a home birth, and I absolutely 100% support you with that. I never doubted you in the slightest, never was worried, never panicked. I just knew that, just keep calm, have faith, and enjoy the process as much as possible. That's what I kept thinking.
Yeah, I just educated myself before it as well in terms of how I could cope with it, other people's stories, what I would need to know on the day. all you can do is educate yourself and then make that decision for you and what you think is best. But I would recommend it to anyone. It's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah, it was a crazy, fantastic experience. We'll never forget it. Obviously, you never forget your kid's birth, but like, that was just.
If I ever did have another one, I wouldn't be going to hospital for it. Even though, let's not say that now, but I'm just
What
saying.
did you say? You'd what? You wouldn't be going to hospital for it?
No, I wouldn't go to hospital. I think I'd
No.
even lessen the appointments, to be honest.
Yeah, that's another thing we can discuss right now. Is the last 5, 6. Do you know what? It might have been in the last 8 weeks. Was it last 8 weeks, or was it not as much as that? Say 6 weeks. We just cancelled the appointments, didn't we?
Yeah. They told us we needed growth scans, which is what they did with Harry, and then Harry came out and he was perfectly healthy. And she came out and she was £8.5. There was nothing wrong with that at all. And the last growth scan we went to that made us cancel. They were trying to measure her, but she was so low down because she was low down from quite early on, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She admitted that she couldn't get a proper measurement of her, but then marked her down as small on our chart, even though she'd already said I can't really measure her properly because she's so low.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, I'm just not going for these growth scans now. She was
No.
so active as well.
Yeah.
And the placenta, when they look on the scans, was really healthy. It just seemed a bit silly, to be honest, to keep going to a 40-minute drive to a hospital to have scans when there was nothing wrong with her.
It might sound quite rebellious,
Yeah.
but it's not. I mean, if you trust in yourself that much, there's no law that you have to do the scans, that you have to do this. No, you don't have to do any of that. We're proof of that now. I'm not. Probably other people's done it.
It was the home birth team comes to you, so she was coming every 2 weeks and measuring my belly. So it wasn't like we were just left and just ignored everybody. She was coming every 2 weeks, checking heart rate, heartbeat, measuring my stomach, and she had no concerns. And when we said to the home birth team about cancelling the growth scan, she thought it
supported us with it, didn't she?
There was no issue with it. She was quite happy for us to do that.
She supported every decision we've made, didn't she?
Yeah.
She was fantastic, she was, but we'd have done it anyway.
Yeah.
Because we had that much belief.
Yeah, I just wish a lot of people, especially first time mums now, would sort of have a bit more confidence in themselves to educate themselves and not necessarily take every single thing that the doctors and nurses say to you as gospel.
Yeah.
Because every woman's different and every baby's different, and if you educate yourself and you know yourself, I know how I react as well to certain things because I've spent so much time in hospital. So I did have that knowledge of me and what would benefit me and baby in terms of, staying calm and on the day what I felt would be better for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a shame that you feel like, especially young mums, that, it's the first time, are sort of coerced into things a little bit.
Yeah. And this is not us like saying, you must have a home birth, you must do this or that.
Just
you do
have the birth you want.
Yeah, you do what you want, but this is us basically saying, you can do it. If you want to do it, you can do it. It is possible.
I'm not saying don't ignore all medical advice, obviously not. But just educate yourself a little bit and go into every meeting with a nurse and a doctor feeling confident so you can ask the right questions and you can sort of push back a little bit if you feel like maybe they're just doing something because it gets the statistic up at a hospital or it's just what they're reading off a book for, that we need to do this because of this, but you feel perfectly fine and baby's perfectly fine. Just educate yourself enough to go into their meetings and feel confident in what you're saying back to them. Yeah.
Listen to yourself, listen to your own. That's what we did, isn't it, really? Yeah. What's our mind saying? Well, I remember us being in a scan, that scan that you mentioned before, and she said, she was quite thingy with us, wasn't she? You have to go there, you have to see a consultant.
She walked us to the room so we didn't leave, basically. You
have to see a consultant, you stay there till the consultant comes, and we sat there roughly about 10-15 minutes, and my intuition was going, leave, get out now, go, and you was thinking the same. Yeah. And we both turned to each other, didn't we, and said, are we going?
Yeah.
Are we going now? Because this is ridiculous. You're uncomfortable, but they've not got a proper measurement. What are we thinking here? What is our mind telling us? What's our intuition saying? It's to go home.
Yeah.
So we went home, cancelled all appointments. It was the best thing we'd done.
I knew that the home birth team was coming as well. I knew I was going to speak to her about it. And if at any point she had said, well, I have a concern with that, then I probably would have listened to that advice. I'm not saying ignore all advice. Just educate yourself is the best thing that I can say, and go with your gut and what you think is right.
Yeah.
And just be a bit more confident in it's your birth and it's your baby. So if you want to make a decision, then fight for it. Unless there are good reasons that you know, they're telling you to do something else.
Yeah, there's a line, isn't there? There's knowing when to back yourself, and
Yeah.
there's also a line where you think, hang on, she's got a point, or he's got a point, we need to follow that,
Yeah,
that
if
advice.
at any point they said that there was like a danger to the baby having a home birth or not having a scan, then obviously we'd have listened to that.
Of course we would, yeah.
But it's just knowing when to be confident in what you think and when to listen to what they're saying.
And, you know, it all worked out in the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, everything that we always worked together with every decision we ever made. We always discussed it calmly. Let's do this, let's do that. What are you thinking? What am I thinking? And every decision we come to as a couple, and I personally am proud of us. We smashed it, to be honest. Every decision, you know, we like I say, we come together as a team and solved it. But yeah, I mean, she's 3 weeks old on Wednesday, which is Monday today.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast that's gone.
It's gone really fast.
The first week seemed to, I don't know, so almost like drag a little bit, and it's like, oh my God, she's not a week old yet. And then the next minute you're like, whoa, she's 3 weeks old in 2 days.
Yeah,
so
she's putting on quite a bit of weight.
yeah, she's a good feeder. I'll give her that. I think she takes after her dad for that. But yeah, she's great. She's healthy, and we love her so much. We're so proud of her. But yeah, with this video was just basically to discuss everything that we didn't discuss last video. Last video was showing you the home birth and then showing you a little bit of what she looked like and stuff like that. But you know, her name's Penelope May Jill Byrne. She was born on the first day of the year of the snake. I think that's everything really. Yeah. No, she's nine pounder. Well, she was 8. Sorry, go on.
£8.5, and then when she came to weigh her the other day, she was £9 already.
Yeah, she's probably like 9.4 now.
She feels a lot heavier already.
Yeah, she does feel heavier. I picked her up before and put her on the on the trolley, you know, when we went shopping. And I thought, oh my God, she's definitely bigger. But yeah, she's definitely I think she's at least like 9.4, 9.5 now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if she's more than that, you know.
She's very strong as well. To watch her head.
Yeah, she is. But yeah, and can I just say how amazing it is, the views and everything on that last video? Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I was really glad we did it, because like I say, I've had a lot of comments and I find it a little bit sad that everyone finds it such a scary thing. And it's nice to show people that it's the complete opposite. And it's not for everyone. It isn't for everyone. Some people get comfort from being hospital, and I completely understand that. But anyone that would think about it or thinks it might be something that, you know, might suit them, it's just nice, because I struggled to find videos like that beforehand, so it was just nice to have a realistic video for people and just say, look, it's not a scary experience, and this was my experience with it. If
you're thinking about it, that means you know your body's telling you, actually, I'm capable of doing this. So if it's in your mind and you want to go for it, absolutely go for it. There's nothing stopping you. Right, the power of women. I'm all about women and stuff like, you know, all about women. All about empowering women and showing and reminding that woman that she's capable of anything, because they're capable of giving birth, which is the most incredible thing ever. And I witnessed that in my bedroom. So, you know, yeah, but incredible. We've got over 2,000 views on that video, which is incredible. I'm not bothered about the views. It's more like, it's fantastic how much it's spreading.
Yeah,
and so other people can
somebody.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, it gives somebody else the option that they might not even thought about it, and
yeah, not for ego point of view. Like, we've got 2,000 views. It's not about that. It's about, there might be one person, at least one person in them 2,000 people. It's still building. It's still going.
Yeah.
But there could be one person who takes something out of that video and has a home birth and brings a child into the world. That would be amazing. It's like you've got inspiration from you doing it. That's amazing for you as well. But yeah, I think that's everything, isn't it? Everything we wanted to discuss.
We'll do some videos over half term with baby and stuff.
Yeah, we've got half term now. It's very quiet in the house, isn't it? Kobe and Harry are both out, so that's nice. We can spend today as a free before the chaos starts all week. But it's a blessing, and we've got a lot of videos coming up of half term, and throughout the year we've got different things coming up. Aren't we, in April? We're going away. So yeah, we've got loads of vlogging to come, and I can't wait to experience it all with baby girl. Smiling, laughing, crawling, walking, everything that comes with a baby. Yeah. All right, see you later, guys.